soon after the announcement, the selection and the announcement of the symbol, IBM announced our retail store system in 1973 with the scanner and using the symbol and everything ready to go to market. And we worked very closely with the industry in developing that system and with implementing the systems, tremendous help and support from the food chains and the food manufacturers and so forth as we developed the system and began to install the system. Unfortunately, once the system was announced, companies were slow to make decisions to install them, especially to make a large commitment. And this was impacted somewhat by the fact that all of the software in the system in the store was actually hardware. The software was in microcode in these brand new technology computers. And the reason for that was to keep the cost down, get the speed that was required to handle all of that data traffic, and also to get a unit that was sized right and reliable, etc. The problem was that as we had defined, working with the development organization, we defined the detailed operations of the store and put them in that programming microcode. We found differences when we started talking about the installation of them. And it wasn't like sitting down and changing a software program. You had to go in and change the hardware in the chip to change that code. And it was not a great design, but it was the only option available to us given the technology at the time. And so that required a lot more time and energy and resources, and us marketing guys at the time were pushing very hard and probably getting a little angry about the time it took to respond to customers and so forth. In the meantime, the market wasn't developing, and we were spending money hand over fist, IBM money hand over fist, on continuing the development and now the marketing effort, etc. We also found that we didn't have IBM had an excellent sales and marketing organization all over the world. But the way it's organized made it very difficult for us to just have salesmen all over the nation and all over the world selling these systems, because it was a whole new field. It was a whole new venture, and for both us and our customers. And you really had to get to know it in some depth and figure out how to make it all work and make it and install these systems, especially when they started installing volume. And so we made the decision, one of the best decisions that we ever made, was to build an integrated organization with a dedicated sales force, dedicated marketing support, dedicated installation support, people who would go into those jobs and stay in those jobs and learn the customers, learn the applications, and build the ability to be able to help the customers put those systems in and do it in a short period of time without too much expenditure or lost time or money. And so we put this integrated business unit together, and Bob Evans, again the president of the division, called me one day. Remember, I was on the marketing side of the business, and asked me to come over to his office, which I did, and he said, Marvin, I want you to come to work for me and to take over this retail store system business and run it, the whole thing. He said, I think we need somebody of your capabilities to take it over, and somebody that knows the customers, knows the business and so forth, and you be the general manager of that business. And so I took that job, moved from Connecticut to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we started building the support structure to solve the problems that we had and get the job done. One of the development managers came up with the idea to move away from the microcode to a programming capability that would enable us to get better responsiveness. We did a lot of work on trying to get more reliability in these systems, because if they went down, the store went down. And we did a lot of work on that, and tried to prevent stores from going out of business, which they no longer do, unless they lose power or have a hurricane or something, which closes their business anyway. But we even worked with the Federal Systems Division, the guys who built the software for the space shots and the computers for the space shots and the orbital missions and so forth, who knew that those units can't fail, they can't go down, and they helped us with improving the reliability. We worked with Walmart had made a decision to go with our systems and with the optical scanning capability, and we were working with them on early test systems and so forth. We had a couple of stores go down, and I heard from Bobby Martin, who was the chief of their technology operations, and we had a number of conversations together, and they were very helpful and forceful in making sure that we got those problems solved over time. But all of that said, it slowed down the project. The financial return to IBM was later than it should have been, and took longer, and so we were on notice 2 or 3 times as we didn't make this thing go and start showing some revenue and ultimately profit, that we may be out without a job.